We've also seen Misfortune a lot in this tournament as well, and that's had a pretty good showing as long as you're able to manage the double shot well and get that harass out. And so we've seen that one. So still on the table, but I'm going to go for the Annie nonetheless.
All right, and here we are once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the Solo King, a Korean 1v1 tournament broadcast here on Azubu TV. My name's Rapid, with me is Achilleos, and we're getting into our first best of 3 of the night. It's going to be a round-robin series best of 3 between Pure and Ssumday. And if at all possible, I believe my co-caster is still with me, but we'll see if we can get things all synced up and ready to go.
I am here with you.
There's always the struggle when you're getting into this. So let's go ahead and talk about both players. Pure, over the course of his trip through the Solo King tournament, actually had a trip that was a little bit easier than maybe most people. He played against Raim, the Incredible Miracle Athena player, and of course also then took out Pilot 2-1. But he's playing against Ssumday, and Ssumday's games yesterday actually looked a little bit rough. He lost the first game versus Marin, and then wound up winning the next 2 to come back from behind, and then win his spot here in round of 6.
Alright, I believe that I have my technical difficulties taken care of.
So it looks like we should be synced up in 123, 124.
Yep, that would be correct. Alright,
sounds
excellent.
good to me. Alright, it's time for some Solo King. We got wards placed in the middle lane already. Scrying Orb picked up there for Pure's Annie. So I really like the Scrying Orb buys. I feel like you can, Scrying Orb the bush right before you walk into it. And sometimes it's those precious seconds that saves you, gets you an extra auto attack in. Definitely helps you chase through those bushes on the side lane. The downside of this match is that Ssumday will be playing Lulu. And when Ssumday played Lulu yesterday, he sat still in mid lane and spammed lap for the first 2 minutes of the game. So hopefully he's too busy actually playing the game do that this time around.
Well, so far so good. As we can see, he's just opting to go ahead and CS this time, playing a bit aggressively, shoving the lane up to tower. Now throwing a little bit of harass down back and forth between these two as they exchange some blows. Overall, relatively the same coming out.
Ssumday's Lulu starting with 50 AP at level 1, so
wow.
that is somewhat high. So a lot of early flat AP runes. I wouldn't say that he put blues in for AP or AP in for his glyphs, but at the same time, he's getting that 50 AP from somewhere. It did start with Doran's Ring too, which is going to give him a lot more starting ability power than most mages that would start that class.
Yeah, typically he had about 24 AP with a general page. But he wants to go for that full aggression. Even so, he's not really playing that aggressively right now. He's mostly focusing on the CS, which he's being caught up with Pure.
Ooh, and Pure made those trades in the middle of a cannon wave. Usually, when you're going into auto attack, especially early on in the first 2 or 3 levels, minions actually deal almost more damage than champions. So if you're gonna go in to fight the other guy, you should probably make sure that he doesn't just kill you, flash it through the turret. Ssumday almost died to that second turret shot coming in, but both flashes traded out already.
Yeah, that's the hyper aggression that I was expecting to see given his amount of AP here. Not able to find the kill, however. You're not connecting now. A little bit out of mana. Gonna go ahead and ward down. Up to recall. He's got that teleport, so get right back in here. A little bit of a CS lead. It's gonna be just about tied up as Pure cleans up this wave, so he should stay fairly even. As we can see, opting for the double Doran's Ring, grabbing some potions as well. So the staple build coming in.
Yeah, and no flash on Annie is actually a really big deal. Flash for Annie is pretty much the way that she uses her spells, because it's not really a big mystery. What Annie's going to do is oh, she's in range to kill me. I'm not going to let her do that. But, of course, Flash makes that possible. Flash Timber's a great way to win the game. We've seen that actually be the victory condition several times already in the Solo King. So now that Ssumday, while he may not have Flash either, he does have the ability to polymorph you, slow you down with Glitter Lances, so you definitely still impair your movement without needing Flash to close in for the kill there. We'll have to see what's going to happen as far as the difference in aggression as far as the items are concerned. Double Dorans versus just one. but a little bit more sustain there for Pure.
Yeah, he's also, for Ssumday, he also has that range extension if he throws picks onto a minion or even just onto Pure, which will give him that added advantage. So, you know, like you said, Flash not as much of a necessity for him.
Ooh,
you see now, nice harass.
Lance. Yeah, right through the minion wave, and as pretty much par for the course this game, Ssumday is just shoving the wave into turret over and over again, and even with the most recent change on Annie's Incinerate, still having some problems keeping up with both killing the minions under the turret and keeping that harassment.
Yeah, absolutely just getting ripped through right now for Pure. He's just chugging down those crystalline flask charges, trying to sustain himself. But it's a losing battle thus far. As we can see, oh, Glitterland's not going to connect. That would have been a huge chunk of his HP had it. So that will keep him in here for a bit longer as he tries to trade back. Nice stun comes through. Rips a little bit of HP off Ssumday, but he still has a couple potions that are going to help sustain him. Meanwhile, the CS is what is the game right now. Pure down by just about 5 so far.
Yeah, and Pure, of course, keep in mind, he's a support player for Najin. Not necessarily their starting support all the time. Subs out with Kane every once in a while. And so it's interesting to see him go for the Annie when maybe you know, other you know, champions like Callista, like we were talking earlier, Misfortune, might have been better aggressive 1v1s. He went with a champion that he knew he was more comfortable with, not necessarily the one that was strongest in the 1v1.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just what it comes down to, I suppose. We've seen some very interesting picks in this tournament.
Oh no, one more auto attack, even with Tibbers up. I don't think he actually had the stun up for that either, so gonna get a quick instant replay. Make sure to pay attention to Pure, see if he gets that stun around him just in time for Mr. Tibbers to come down. I think he cast one spell. Nope, he just doesn't have the stun up. So even though Tibbers came down, it was not enough to keep him alive.
Yep, still one spell away from that stun. That much needed stun with the Tibbers will cost him his life. Ssumday picks up his first win though. Now 1-0.